Um, yeah, so we're making our own dashi. That's like the most important element for the flavor of this dish. It's going to be like a rich, very like savory um, dashi. And honestly, you can make, there's a lot of different types of dashi, and I would recommend reading into Just One Cookbook and Namiko Chen. Like her website has an insane amount just like of knowledge on dashi, on why dashi, like why dashi, why certain types of dashi work and others like don't for certain applications. Oh yeah, what Jake is showing right now, it's like the
Oh,
brand is Home Dashi, but it's a dashi powder. So it's
and
just
Jake, that's exactly what I ended up buying.
I would
yeah.
all of my experience with anything like dashi related has tended to show that like this stuff gets you 90% of the way there. And
Yeah.
it's so simple. And like versus I don't know, I didn't know we were making our own dashi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
very
it's slightly, it's like just slightly, more artificial, more, it's like if you're trying to make a chicken broth and you want to use chicken stock powder instead of, double boiling some chickens.
Yeah.
It's totally gonna work. I would say the depth and complexity you get from like using natural ingredients is usually gonna like trump sort of the powdered stuff. But I think it's funny, like when we were doing our matzo ball soup recipe, like we talked about how we actually just used the chicken stock powder at the end to boost the flavor of the like very natural chicken stock that we made. So I think combination is fun, but if you're in a pinch, if you're trying to make this like in under 15 minutes, yeah, just use the powder. Like there's no reason to like pre-soak your seaweed, for 30 minutes in cold water and then bring it to a almost boil and like, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it's fun. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to make the dashi from scratch with everyone, whoever is. All right, I'm gonna wait till 6:10, and I'm hoping that we can do this like in under 50 minutes from then. I'm trying to like keep it speedy. Hey Jenna, what's up?
Hello.
Welcome. I'm glad to see you here. Some new faces. So like, yeah, about 20 people RSVP'd. We still have some people rolling through. Let me know if this music is too loud.
I'm not here to play with your mind. I'm not here to play tricks on you. Just want to show you a deeper place, ascensions. It's not nice, it's not cute, but it's real and it's raw, absolute. And it's not slick, not fake. And I appreciate the Lord every step of the way. Yeah. All I wanna do is adore you, baby. I'm not here to confuse you, but I'm here to good news you. I'm here to good news you. I'm here to good news you. Ooh-wee. Yeah. I speak the joys of love, the joys into your life. It's true.
Eli, Percy doesn't look like they like that.
Percy's wondering when you're getting a haircut.
Nice.
Not anytime soon.
Huh? Never?
No, I mean, at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So I'm gonna just get going on this. So today, I kind of said already, I want to make this a little bit quicker than usual. So I'm hoping to end around 7. If I don't, there aren't real consequences, but except for you all being kind of annoyed by me. So I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, so I kind of wanted to use someone else's recipe, just so I didn't have to spend 20 hours researching and trying things, and just kind of make it a little bit easier for myself. But I wanted to do this Kitsune Udon. It means fox udon. As Namiko Chen, like, this is her recipe. She talks about, like, the name. There's a couple of different hypotheses for why it's named that, but you can go read about it. But the reason I really like this is because it's so simple and so delicious, and it uses just like pretty fundamental Japanese techniques, mainly the dashi broth, to make something like fucking good. So I think it's a good thing to know. It's like a good recipe to know, because you can make it in about 30 minutes, 20 minutes. And if you already have dashi, or if you have dashi powder, you can make it in like 10 minutes. And you could like put a soft boiled egg in it if you want, some scallions, maybe some fish cake, like whatever, do your thing. And the dashi broth is also pretty flexible. Like, you can make it with shiitake mushrooms, you can make it with kombu, and you can make it like with dried sardines. You can make it with katsuobushi. So this one we're doing with the dried and smoked. It's like skipjack tuna, bonito, and it's aged, and it's dried, and it's smoked, and it's shaved really thinly. And this has like a ton of flavor. I'll talk about, yeah, I guess, like, and then we have like the actual like kombu. which I started hydrating and soaking ahead of time because it's like the basically there's a bunch of glutamic acid, MSG, in the kombu, and that's where most of the flavor is going to come from. And the katsuobushi has a lot of, I think what I've ranted about enough. Basically, it's called inosinic acid, but inosinic acid is this thing that actually makes you taste. It allows you to perceive MSG up to 15 times more intensely. So like this is like a flavor booster. Basically, this is a flavor enhancer for this. So let's start on the broth. That's the first thing we're gonna do. I will adjust my cameras. So
I have a
we're gonna
question.
be putting in a 2.25 cups of water into a pot, and I already pre-soaked my kombu because apparently this is like you don't want to boil this because it becomes bitter and slimy. So you give it enough time, even more time, like 3 hours soak is even better to like really dissolve all of the MSG really into the water. But for now, it doesn't matter. You don't need to do that. You can skip that. But we want to put everything, the 2.25 cups of water and the like small sheet of kombu. Namiko Chen suggests like 2 by 5 inch sheet. You can do more. I wouldn't suggest doing less. And then we're gonna bring that to a low boil, but we're gonna do it on medium low. So put your heat on medium low. And once again, the reason is we're not trying to boil this because boiling it will have negative consequences. There's diminishing returns to boiling it. We want to slowly simmer it and get it up to heat. So just put that on medium low heat and we can kind of start prepping our other things. And once again, this is going to be a super quick recipe.
Ben, can I ask you about the bonito flakes? How densely packed should you, when you're measuring the 1.5 cups of bonito flakes for two servings, should you densely pack it or not?
I would say no. Like you're not trying to like stuff it down. Yeah, I would say just like I'm probably gonna put like a handful and a half in. It's like a cup and a half that you want to use, and you don't want to like press it down too much. But we're gonna do that later. So we're gonna keep this off to the side and we're gonna wait to use this. But for now, we're just bringing that kombu dashi. It's just kombu dashi right now, or it's about to be, I guess, once we get it to a low heat. We're just gonna start simmering that. So I can kind of bring this camera situation over. I think you can see, yeah, where my hand is, the pot. This is I'm just throwing this on medium low heat. So that's the start of the broth. What we can do now is we can prepare our fish cake. And also, yeah, because there's like so little prep in this, feel free to ask questions. We're kind of just hanging out, talking, you know, we can talk all about how I know cyanic acid actually works and how it forces the receptors closed longer to send. I don't know, I'm not a neuroscientist, but someone here studied the brain, so maybe they can help us, but I don't know. But we're gonna slice the fish cake. I got this fish cake, so you can see the cross section of it. There we go. It's just a nice white fish cake with a pink outside layer, but you can also have the Naruto, like the swirly fish cake as well. Kind of up to you. Oh yeah, sorry. Also, wash your hands if you haven't yet. Of course. So I'm just slicing this into 1/8 inch slices. I'm only doing a couple. I'm not trying to like feast on fish cake. It's more of like a garnish, I would say, or like a little bit decorative. The main body of this dish comes from the udon noodles, as well as I would say the tofu. I'm gonna slice like 3 or 4 slices because I like fish cake.
Hey Ben,
Cool. What's up?
So I think I have the same type of fish cake as you. This is pre-cooked, right? It's like already steamed.
Yeah, it's pre-steamed.
Okay. And then one other
Or
question.
if it's not, it should say.
Oh no, it says steamed right there. Yeah. Okay. Other question is, I just have bonito flakes, and I seemed from the recipe that was okay, or did I miss something?
I mean, you missed something, but it's okay. Like, it's fine. You just won't, like, I would recommend, if you have MSG that you can add, I would actually recommend adding MSG, or if you have some sort of stock powder, I would recommend adding that, because the kombu has that like crucial element of that MSG flavor. You can't really you can still eat it without it. It's just it provides a lot of flavor, so you should supplement that with like powdered MSG or whatever other type of MSG you can find.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's like not the end of the world. Yeah. Cool. So I have my fish cake sliced, and then we have this. Also, like while we're doing this, let's make sure to just keep an eye on your pot of kombu dashi. When that comes up to like a slight simmer around the edges, when you start seeing bubbles, you want to remove the kombu once again, because it'll become bitter and slimy if you don't, and we don't want that. So
So
Ben,
Ben,
what are the different types of fish cakes? Like, Namiko has
what was
like
that?
what are all the different types of fish cakes, and how do you choose a fish cake? I always just get the pink one.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the fish cakes that like are in the steamed fish cakes that are in a tube sort of have a similar pretty mild white fish taste. There's also like all of the different iterations of like fried fish cakes, which I don't actually have a very good knowledge of. So like if you're in a Japanese market, or if you're in the Japanese section of a supermarket, you'll see like for the Japanese hot pot style dishes, or the ones that are cooked as this like big pot of broth and a ton of different fish cakes. There's a lot of different fish cakes. I am not the person for that answer. Like, I don't actually understand the differences and intricacies between all the different fish cakes, but I'm sure there's someone who like dedicated their life to fish cakes studies, which would be interesting. Anyways.
so if you
I just
discover
chose-
that you don't have any soy sauce, what are you recommending?
Worcestershire?
Oh, okay.
That's an idea. Yeah, that's an idea. I
Okay,
think that's pretty.
Tamari.
That's a pretty bold flavor though. So I think it would like definitely change it to be not what this dish is, or like what it's supposed to be. I would say if you don't have soy sauce,
Leave it?
maybe just omit it and like make sure it's properly seasoned with
Okay.
enough salt. But I think so. Yeah, like next time would be good for that soy flavor.
Ben, on the kombu, I see, or the dashi, I see little tiny bubbles on the bottom of my pan. Should I take it out?
That's fine. Leave it still. Only take it out once it starts like boiling a little bit.
Okay.
So like when it starts like kind of bubbling up a little bit, like actually coming to a little bit of a boil, take it out then. Yeah.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna prep the
Oh, it's my
I think it's aburaage. It's the fried tofu, basically this fried tofu, but it's like a pocket. So you can drain out a lot of this dish is about like concentrating the flavor. Yo, Diane, can you mute yourself?
Go ask your sister.
I can hear you. Oh shit, I gotta mute.
It's all good. Thank you. Thanks, Diane. So a lot of this dish is about like making sure we have concentrated dashi flavor. We don't want to dilute the flavor of the dashi in any way. So when we're cooking our udon, we want to make sure we're like to completely drain it, because we don't want to introduce any of that unseasoned water to it. And then the same goes for the seasoned tofu packets. Like if you would like, you can choose to squeeze out the excess moisture from these guys, because there is quite a bit of excess moisture. So I'm gonna squeeze that out because I want more of the the dashi flavor and less of the like whatever else flavor. But yeah, these things are kind of cool. Like if you've ever had sushi, like nigiri, with the bean curd, this is what it is. So you can kind of see it's a little pocket, and imagine a little ball of rice in there, right? So if you're ever looking to make that, you can always make it with this here. So good stuff. So I just have like,
mine are like little marshmallows.
yeah. It's got the, yeah, that's an idea.
We couldn't
Making
find-
s'mores, but
Oh, look at
yeah,
yours.
I actually
Okay.
Corey, I found those ones as well. When I couldn't find these, I used those ones. Those are just like, they're just less seasoned. They just have less flavor, and they're just like gonna soak up all the broth, which is still great. Like,
Okay, awesome.
no issue.
Okay.
Oh yeah, what's up, Encore?
We have this seasoning packet that came with them. What do we?
Yeah, I do too. I'm not gonna use that, but I'm sure it's delicious.
Cool. I'll save it for later.
Like, I'm kind of curious, yeah, what's in the packet. Oh, it looks like it's, whoa, it's powdered vinegar. Okay, so I think this is for making sushi rice. Like, this is for seasoning rice to be sushi rice. But we're gonna leave that to the side for now. I have these little pockets. I have like 4 of them here. I'm just gonna set them aside. And from here, we're basically gonna do just boiling noodles and steeping the katsuobushi. So I would say get a pot of water to boil for the noodles, so we can kind of catch up to that when that happens. Bart, the pot, oh yeah, and that's a good point. Bart said, Helena, Bart said that you could use the Bragg's liquid aminos to substitute soy sauce. That's definitely a better sub than Worcestershire. If you have liquid aminos, you're on mute.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then the kombu, there's about a for 2.25 cups of broth or water, there's a 2 by 5 inch like little strip of kombu. You can put a little bit more, but I wouldn't put less. Cool. So I'm putting this pot of water to boil. I have this dry udon, but if you have like frozen udon, fresh udon, or like already cooked udon, that's a lot faster than dry. Mine will just take longer than whoever has pre-cooked udon. And I think the dry udon will probably take like 10 to 12 minutes, and I'll just be like kind of keeping an eye out for it. I'm doing that trick right now where you put a paper towel around a beer and then throw it in the freezer, and it cools way faster because I want to drink with you guys. Okay. So start to keep an eye on your kombu. Mine's kind of getting there almost. It's like near boiling. I don't want it to boil. Hi, Tane's cat.
Hey, sorry, he's been on the keyboard.
That's great. I love when cats use computers.
Yes, he's gonna be doing my job.
Hey, Ben, I have a question about broth really quick.
What's up?
So 2.25 cups of water for the dashi broth, correct?
Yeah.
And then okay, and then like a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a quarter of actual bonito or dashi.
So that's a little bit later. We don't, because we're gonna like remove a lot of things. We don't want to, once again, we don't want to dilute things. So like we're gonna still have to put, we're still taking out the kombu from the broth. We're also gonna still have to put and remove the katsuobushi into the broth. So like, don't worry about the mirin or the soy sauce yet, but we should put in about like, yeah, it's like about a teaspoon, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the dashi, mirin, and soy sauce are later.
Or it's later. Exactly. It's later, and it's about a tablespoon. I looked up.
Okay. And then one other thing, I have a bunch of those just like dried seaweed. Could I use those in lieu of not having what is it called, kombu?
No, because it's a different type of seaweed. Like you're talking about laver, right? Like the sheets for like sushi and kimbap and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those don't have the same flavor. They'll provide some of the seaweed flavor, but they don't have all of that MSG salt, or as much at least.
Okay. All right. I'll just do MSG then.
Yeah, I would just add MSG.
Cool.
Hey everybody. Hey, can someone who has good mirin tell me like what's in it? Because when I went to the shops, the mirin, just like the ingredients on it looked like trash, so I didn't buy it.
What were the ingredients?
Like fructose syrup, fermented rice seasoning, and vinegar. And I thought, why don't I just get vinegar and sugar and soy?
Well, I mean, mirin is kind of like sweetened. It's like a sweetened rice wine.
Yeah, but like in your ingredients, what is it? What's in there?
I actually don't have an ingredients list on my bottle. I don't even know.
Okay, it's probably legit.
You don't want to know, because I looked at it and thought, okay, maybe for one recipe, but that's about it.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I figured. I'm never going to use it again.
It's definitely like a core ingredient in Japanese cooking, and I would recommend, I don't know. There's probably like some like really bougie mirin somewhere in the world. Like, I mean, definitely in Japan, but like you probably could get some nice stuff.
Yeah, I want to find the bougie mirin. But for now, I'm just going to wing it with some rice wine vinegar and soy.
My mirin has sake, corn syrup, dextrose, and water.
Wow, yours is better
than the one that I've read.
Yeah, it's this. I don't know what the brand is, but
like it's literally just sweetened sake.
Nice.
You might have been looking at. Sometimes they have mirin like syrup, not the actual sake.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
I know I have some of that I accidentally bought. So might be that. I don't know.
Nice.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if that's not a thing, I'm not sure. But
I just noticed that I have the stuff that you didn't want to buy. It's the Kikkoman. And I just noticed that it says mirin style sweet cooking.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So, it's not the real thing.
So the one that was in the video, they did have, but it was like 3 times the price, and I thought, well, okay, all right, big mistake. I should have bought it.
All right, so I want to interrupt really quick. So we have, your kombu might be boiling. So check your kombu. if it's starting to come to a boil of any sort, take the kombu out. Mine's like almost there. It's starting to bubble a bit. Just be aware. And my udon is also about to come. My udon cooking water is about to come to a boil. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on that. Yeah. So my udon cooking water is boiling. I'm going to throw in my noodles. That's just going to take a bit. So.
And Ben, do you think that the frozen noodles are superior to the dry noodles?
Yeah, supposedly. I mean, I think I would just listen to what Namiko said, and like she says she likes that better, just because some of the dried stuff is just not as high quality apparently and can break apart a little bit. But I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I just got the dry, but I can't really like definitively say. All right, so you can take your kombu out if it's already come to a slight boil.
Ben, Encore also noticed, do you know how to interpret this expiration date on our udon?
Oh, nice.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but we'll figure it out.
All right. Once you've taken out your kombu, let's go in with the katsuobushi. So we're gonna bring it to a boil, like an actual boil this time, because we don't have any kombu in there. Take a whiff, like just take a whiff of the katsuobushi. It's pretty wildly, it's like pretty intense, pretty great. Super smoky, kind of fishy. It's good stuff. I'm putting in about a cup and a half. And I think the thicker shaving, my thin shavings actually probably aren't the best. I think the slightly thicker ones are better. These ones that I'm using, I think are actually for like topping okonomiyaki, which is like a pancake. But I think that should be fine. You'll see it kind of dance as it hits the water and the heat. All right, now we want to just turn off the heat with the katsuobushi in it. So this is gonna just kind of sit there, and we're gonna let it just kind of steep, basically. We just want to let it sit there and steep for like 10 to 15 minutes.
Do you know what the like history behind this dish is at all, or parts of it, like udon or anything like that?
I don't know the history of specifically this dish, but I do know that it's like one of the most classic dishes you can find. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, part of not spending like 20 or 30 hours in a week working on the newsletter means like I'm just not going to know that much stuff now. But also, yeah, that's fine.
It'll be fun to research it on my own.
And like, if you want, try to like rip a piece of the kombu off and just try to eat it. It's like pretty tough, pretty interesting. Just take a bite, you know. It's got flavor, but like that's kind of, yeah, it's kind of like our base flavor.
Ben, would you say that the kombu that you've just used is spent, or can you still, could you even use it again?
That's a good question. From something I read one time, I think you can use it like one more time, but generally it's like kind of spent. Yeah, you can do things, all good. Yeah, but I don't know, I would say like once you've used it once, a lot of the flavor from it has been, you know, dissolved into the broth. Yeah, also, like, if you put your udon in and you had frozen udon, that was done a long time ago. Like, whatever, according to whatever instructions on the package, definitely follow that for like cooking the frozen udon. I put in my dry udon, that's taking 10 to 12 minutes, but the frozen should only take like 1 or like 2 or 3 minutes, like according to the instructions on the package is what I would say for that. So hopefully you did not completely forget about that. But yeah, Helena, if you guys want right now, because it's kind of some downtime, you can slice up some scallions. You can just take a scallion or half a scallion and just some nice thin slices of it for garnish later.
So I did buy scallions, but when I was at Lily's, I bought a package of this, thinking this was scallions. But what is it?
Those are chives. So those are
Okay.
those might actually even be garlic chives, but those are definitely chives.
Okay.
Definitely a different flavor.
Okay.
I actually have garlic chives also from our garden because we used all of our scallion. So I'm in the same boat. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah, they're different for sure. They have a little bit less of a circular structure also, so like texturally they're a little bit less crunchy, I would say. And they taste slightly different. Just do a sample, kind of side by side.
Garlic.
Yeah, garlic chive. Also,
Yep.
I'm assuming people know how to cook pasta, but specifically udon, like, yeah, just keep an eye on it. Try to take a bite of it, check it out, look inside. If there's kind of like a chalky white film inside, that's like means it's not done yet. You want it to be gelled. You want it to be kind of consistent, but you don't want it to be overcooked. So want to make sure there's a bite to it. Mine's almost done. I have like a minute or two left.
So the noodles are supposed to be al dente.
Yeah, I would say that there should be a slight chew to them.
Okay.
They should not be mushy by any means.
All right. I'm done.
Yeah, and udon's pretty thick too. So
Just read a really small amount about the history of udon, and it has very disputed origins, as does every single food probably. But two of the origin stories seem to involve a Buddhist monk and then also a Buddhist priest, and it seems like it was like a recipe or type of noodle that was adopted from China, or maybe got to Japan through migration of some sort. But yeah, just kind of cool.
Sounds legit.
Wikipedia. Yeah, Wikipedia is cool.
True.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, I agree completely with that statement.
You guys in Silicon Valley slay me sometimes.
That's funny. I mean, Wikipedia, it's for everyone now.
I didn't think it was true.
Yeah,
Oh.
Wikipedia is great.
Super well sourced. Yeah.
It's like almost as accurate as Britannica encyclopedia. So
Well, I'll take my internet anytime compared to that. All right. Pasta's done.
all right, so I think my udon is.
Hey Ben,
Sorry, I
with the
dropped the
frozen udon, it says that you should bring it back to a boil and then boil it for 1 minute. So that means, I've got to get it back to a boil, right? And then
For what?
it says boil it, bring it back to a boil after you put the udon noodles in. It stops boiling because the noodles were frozen, and then
Oh,
boil and then cook it for a minute.
yeah, for the frozen ones.
Yeah.
So those require just very little time because they're already cooked then, right?
I don't know. I guess.
I would just follow whatever the instructions say for sure. Like, absolutely. So I'm gonna. My udon is definitely done now. I'm gonna drain it and set it aside in a bowl with some ice, actually, because I just want to stop the cooking right away. So the ice. Ice water will just help us really quickly shock the noodle and stop it from cooking. I really want to make sure that I don't overcook it because that would be lame. Cool. So my noodles are done. Wow. I just picked up a hot pot. Sorry for the noise. Picked it up and very quickly dropped it. Cool. So now we're gonna take a pot, and we are going to strain our dashi broth. Like, make sure we strain out all of the what's it called? All of the katsuobushi, all of the smoked dried fish, as we strain it, and we want to just get the dashi back into a pot so we can start seasoning it.
Ben, I feel like we kind of wasted the opportunity to simmer things in the dashi broth. Is there anything you would recommend we like simmer in it? like onions or something, or you just use like a super clean
Oh,
broth?
yes, thank you, Jake. Yeah, so there's this dish called oyakodon, which it's basically oyako means like oya means parent and ko means child, from what I understand. And oyakodon is basically pieces of chicken with eggs simmered in a very similar broth to this, with sliced onions, and it's fucking banging over rice. Like it's so good. It's so good. And so I definitely recommend like using this broth as just like a base for like anything else, over rice. Crack some eggs into it, slice some alliums into it, slice some vegetables into it, whatever. It's just like got a lot of flavor.
I did it with broccoli the other day because I just had a lot of broccoli. And I was like, fuck it, let's try this. And it like was by no means authentic, but it was delicious because it's just that broth. So I don't know. I found you can put literally any vegetable into that broth and it'll just like be super fucking good.
I was going to
those-
put dried mushrooms in it and just, yeah,
Yeah.
black mushrooms.
Yeah, so there's
Woohoo!
well, like it depends if you want to eat the if you want to eat the mushroom, I guess. Like there's a dashi broth that has shiitake as well. So like the dried shiitake mushrooms,
Okay,
in addition to the kombu and the katsuobushi that we have.
okay.
That's an option. You can also just throw in whatever mushrooms, to eat fresh. But anyways, I'm gonna really quickly, let's strain our dashi broth. So you can kind of see, here, let me, hold on. Get a better angle here. Cool. So yeah, you want to strain out all of that katsuobushi, all of the liquid in there. It's got
What
like
is
a ton of
katsuobushi?
flavor.
I'm sorry.
What?
What is katsuobushi again?
Katsuobushi is a type of tuna, or bonito, I think it's what people call it.
Okay.
Dried, smoked, and aged, and it becomes like petrified wood almost. Like it's a super hard end product, and they have these special razor blades, like wooden boxes, basically like a mandolin sort of thing, that's used to thinly slice that block of aged smoked fish, and the result is these like shavings that you see. Yeah, and that's where all that flavor comes from. It's smoked, it's aged, and it's just fish. So it's whenever you smoke and age something, it's going to be good.
Dope, thanks.
Cool. So I'm just going to press out the remainder of broth from my katsuobushi with some chopsticks, just like this. Now I would bring this up to a boil, this dashi broth. And you can like go ahead and taste it right now. Kind of like take a little sip with your spoon, just tiny bit, and get an idea of like what it actually tastes like. Just in its natural, unadulterated state with no mirin or soy sauce or salt or sugar in it. Because once we put that in, it's gonna like definitely elevate it quite a bit.
It tastes really good just the way it is.
Yeah. Yep. So that's gonna be the base. And then, I mean, since we're like seasoning it with even more stuff, it's gonna taste even better. Yeah, it's got a lot of the MSG taste. You can taste that savoriness, but there's not that much salt actually. There's not that much table salt, like sodium chloride. So now we can throw in our tablespoon of mirin, our teaspoon of sugar. So yeah, start kind of getting that stuff out. I'm actually measuring this because I do not want to mess up this amount. I'm doing a tablespoon of mirin, a tablespoon of soy sauce, Cool. And then a teaspoon of sugar and a half teaspoon of kosher salt. If you're using iodized salt, like table salt, use half of that. So use a quarter. Oh, it's getting pretty wild.
Should you cook the inaragi at all? Because the directions.
You don't need to.
Okay.
You don't need to. All right, so I've seasoned mine. I have my soy sauce, my mirin, my sugar, and my salt all in there. And then if you have your, if you haven't already, you can go ahead and slice your scallions. I don't actually have any scallions. I forgot them. So just going to skip on that.
So you all are right. Without the soy sauce or the amino acid, it's sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is supposed to be a bit sweet. And that's like, I mean, it's, yeah, sugar is definitely just like a flavor enhancer in itself almost. Like, I know, like, I'm not sure how much sugar we use, just how everyone uses here, like in their cooking, daily cooking, like in their savory dishes, but in a lot of, like in Chinese cooking and in Japanese cooking and in Korean cooking, from what I understand, sugar just, it's not even supposed to be necessarily like overtly sweet. It's not supposed to be like a dessert, but it is supposed to enhance the flavor, and I think it does that pretty well.
And actually the dry noodles are fabulous. They really are.
Great. Cool. So now that we have kind of everything done, right? We have our noodles, we have our dashi broth, we have our fish cakes, and we have our fried tofu. We can kind of start plating it up. So let's do that. You've already done that. Cool. Good for you. So I have my noodles in here. Noodles, check. I'm gonna turn off my hot broth here. Throw some of that in. Throw in a couple of slices of the fried tofu and a couple pieces of the, well, a few pieces of the fish cake. And if you have your scallions, go for it. And that's kind of it. Yeah. So I'm gonna just eat this now. I'm extremely hungry.
And it's before 7. We did it. Woo! It is possible.
Perfect. Before 7. Perfect.
It looks great.
Yeah. We'll get a nice bite with the noodles and the fried tofu and everything in there. That's good. Nice. Yeah, you can kind of let the the fish cake heat up a bit from the broth, and same with the fried tofu a bit, the pouches. Good.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is like a sweet. A lot of things have some sweetness in it. The tofu, the fish cake, even the broth.
Hey Ben, do you want to hear a story about kombu?
Yes.
So in like 2007, there was a big lawsuit here in Australia, and it was to do with a soy milk company, nothing to do with kombu. But a bunch of people, or like not even a bunch, like nine people got very sick because there was too much iodine in this one soy milk brand. And so there was a big class action lawsuit. And as a response, Australia started regulating all products sold with iodine in it. So anything with like over 1,000 mg per kg of iodine can't be sold here anymore. And turns out kombu has a ton of iodine in it. So you can't buy kombu in Australia.
That's really weird.
Right?
Like, it's weird that got grouped in.
It's terrible. It's awful. So I
unfortunate.
couldn't use kombu today, but you can buy the little packets of kombu shiitake dashi.
I would think
what's in
that's
that?
going to change. Who's the multi-billion billionaire who's now growing seaweed farms?
I don't know, but I would
Yeah.
love to know.
Yeah, it's happening now. So he's investing in seaweed farms, and it is sort of the next superfood from his perspective. So the laws are going to change.
Hell yeah. Okay, I want in on that. But you can buy wakame and other types of seaweed, and you can buy dulse, but kombu is special. I don't know. They don't like kombu here. But
Well, the iodine is what
It's just-
people are allergic to.
You should lobby.
People that are
Oh.
seafood or to stuff, it's the iodine that they're allergic to. So if there's an unpredictable amount of iodine in the food, then that can be really dangerous. But most people that are allergic to shrimp avoid everything.
So
Yeah.
Sarah, is spirulina the same as the seaweed, spirulina?
spirulina you can buy here.
Spirulina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's
I'll
an
interrupt
algae,
really
I think,
second. So just wanted to say thanks for coming. It's like the 7 o'clock mark. I wanted to keep it short, so if you have somewhere to be, or if you just are tired of us, like, bye. If you can, I'd love to see your final product. So if you want to take a picture, post it on Instagram on your story, tag me at Ben and Medali, or like email it to me or send it to me on Facebook, whatever. But I'd love to see your final products, because this was delicious, honestly. And I think it looks really pretty too.
I agree.
Nice, Eli.
Thank
Very
you.
symmetrical, radial symmetry.
Wow, that looks fabulous.
It's literally a wok full. I made way too much, and like Mo doesn't seem like well, she will eat it at some point, but so far it's just me.
All right. Oh. I'll have to send a picture.
Yeah, please do. I want to see what everyone's making.
Is that Helena there?
It is. I'm sending Sarah a lot of things that I bought that I have way too much of, so that she can.
I need to buy a new house.
Oh yeah, if you want to hang out, I'm eating, I'm chilling, I'm drinking.
How do you like?
Hey Dad, welcome home from work. Thank you for working so hard.
Sarah, is that your husband there? Your phantom husband?
Yeah, you've never met him.
Never met him. I don't even know what he looks like.
Well, he used to have curly hair, but well,
Incredibly handsome.
very handsome. Yeah,
Just kidding.
I haven't changed.
really sheer.
Yep. I can borrow some of your hair.
Yeah, my hair is really out of control right now. The problem is
Or
the
Eli's hair. How about
Eli's,
Eli?
yeah.
Hold on, Bart, you had a good question. The vegetarian version of this is totally just skipping the fish and the fish cake. That's it. Like all you need to do is not put the katsuobushi, the smoked fish in, and not put the fish cake in. And then this is vegan actually. So totally. Good
Okay.
question.
And don't you want to hear about my hair?
No comment.
It hasn't changed in 62 years, Bill.
The person that cuts my hair is a Trumper.
Oh,
Oh,
So
nice.
I haven't had cut my hair in God knows how long. And then
You have a really long.
well, my hair's out of control, so I'll grow a beard.
I just bit into the white stock of a garlic chive, and it was like really. It was like yeah.
Pungent, right? Yeah, it's garlic. It's a garlic chive.
actually, this fish cake with the one with the pink in it is a lot milder and a lot more delicious than I expected.
They're good.
Yeah, it's super chill.
But are they rubbery? I always found the fish cake in other
They're not.
states to be rubbery.
No, it's really soft.
It's different.
Uh,
Mine is rubbery, Sarah, but I'm happy with it.
You know, what does
Okay.
rubbery mean to you? Was it a bad thing?
For me, I don't care for rubbery textures, except for squid is rubbery, but it's soft.
And
Rubber buffalo.
let me share with you a do not also. So these pre-made little marshmallow, soy things, don't try to refry them.
Okay.
All right.
Not tasty.
Hey, Diane. You're muted. You can turn it on. You can talk.
No, because I have a bunch of people here, so that's why it's soft.
Okay.
Are you embarrassed?
No, she's just trying to mute it so they can't hear you swear.
I'm
We've been
not
swearing,
swearing.
No worries.
No,
Okay,
good-
bye
We've been swearing.
everyone. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
So good.
Take care.
This udon broth is better than the ones that I've gotten at restaurants before. I think that's probably because I haven't had incredible like Japanese food really, but yeah, it's better than Sakano's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's really concentrated. Like
Hey,
it
Diane.
coats all the noodle. Like if you take a bite of the noodle, it's enough. There's enough flavor in just the broth on the noodles
Yes,
to
I
flavor the
agree.
bite. And so when you start sipping on the broth, you realize like, oh shit, this is pretty strong. Like it's very, very intense, fishy, smoky flavor.
Yeah.
I could see why beer would taste better with this.
Oh yeah, to cut it a little bit, refresh it, a
Mhm.
little bit cold
Mhm.
for sure. This is like a comfort food, This is like great for like autumn,
Mhm.
It's like fall time, you're kind of freezing your ass off. Just like slurp on a bowl of noodles and you're good.
Well, I'm headed to Houston where the air conditioning feels like I'm in Alaska. So it'll be good.
Zach, how's yours?
What's up?
I said, how's yours?
Good.
Good.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, I forgot about the whole time zone thing. Forgot that time zones are a thing. So I started this at about 9:30.
So you're just hungry.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I realized once it was 6 p.m. here that it was Pacific time, and then I was like, well, I guess I'll just wait.
Where are you, Jack? Where do you live?
I am in Indiana right now.
Oh. Wow.
Yep, I'm in South Bend.
It's still in school or something else?
No, I am interning for the film department right now. That's actually ending this summer, and then I'm moving out to LA though. So,
Ah.
yeah.
So,
Wow.
Well,
any thoughts on the awards for, the more, the other night, from the other night, the smaller films that you liked or didn't like?
Are you talking about the Oscars?
Yes.
I did not watch the Oscars.
Well, I meant, I guess some of the animation films, or had you seen some of them?
No, I haven't seen that many recent movies lately. I've been watching. I've just been catching up on movies I've been meaning to watch for a while lately. So I didn't really see. Yeah, I didn't see any of the. I don't think I saw a single one from the Oscars.
I saw Soul. Soul was pretty good. I really liked it. I definitely cried.
Okay.
I heard kids in school are getting all existential because of Soul. That's great. I love that.
That's really good to hear.
I haven't seen that.
All right. It's time for me to say goodbye too. So thank
See you
you
later.
again.